Medical disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes. It does not replace the medical advice of a trained doctor. Seek medical advice before beginning any treatment plan. Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Let's take a look. At where we are now. I'm at 7.7. I'm going up a bit. Still have 17 units of insulin on there. I'm getting low on insulin, it's telling me. But yet I still have 100 in here, so we're good. Today I want to discuss, since we are getting into the warmer season, summer camps. Now, for years, the Canadian Diabetes Association has been putting on excellent camps. And it was, like I said, the summer of 78. Our whole way of life, or my whole way of life, was changing. My stepfather got a job in Fiji where my mother was going with him, so they were packing up the house. I was going to be moving in with my sister. The whole thing just seemed very quickly put together. And I was to go to this camp. I really wasn't in on going to this camp. And, after coming back, I played it nonchalantly. But I do have fond memories of that camp. There was some canoeing. I was never really athletic, but they got us out and exercise. For example, 2 days out of I think I was there a week, the whole camp moved. And the younger kids went somewhere, and then us older kids were broken off and went on a canoe trip first, and then came back, and then we hiked. I remember it as a mountain. It wasn't a mountain. It was sort of like a hill and an incline. It had a dirt road, and we were walking on the dirt road. But while I was there, I learned a lot more about daily care of diabetes. When I was in the hospital, we were taught urine testing. And we did more urine testing there. But it was kind of gross thinking about it. You were paired off, and you did the urine test for your whole cabin. Like, not everyone did their own urine test. It was kind of surreal. We were put into a cabin with bunk beds. We had a shower, I think, every second day. There was a lake that we swam on. I can't say which lake it was, but it was near Osoyoos, because I remember at that time we had to fly in from Vancouver into Penticton, and then we're bused to the camp. Now, I believe for BC, it's on the Sunshine Coast. But it was a fun. It was kind of exciting. I was going on an airplane, coming back. I was just sort of really kind of upset it was coming to an end. However, I wasn't going to let on because I had made such a thing that things were changing so much around in my life. I did not want to go. But, it turned out okay. I'd never tell my parents that, but the meals were okay. They kind of told you how much exchanges you were allowed. But they didn't sort of check. So you just could eat. Because you were burning it off anyway. You were out there doing exercises. Sometimes we do craft. But they kept you fairly active. There were stories of what the counselors were doing every night. I know one of the counselors I had was married, and his wife came up to spend their wedding anniversary, and I know they went out sailing. But, teenage and the gossip between. They had the oldest boys and the oldest girls' cabins split by every other age group so that they'd be able to see if anyone was sneaking by and by. Thinking back on it, how ridiculous, but the camp song was Leaving on a Jet Plane. That kind of helped me really get into enjoying the outdoors more too. I had been a scout, a cub and a scout, and I was sent away to these camps, and it was all kind of drudgery. But it was always sort of in the fall, winter, when it was pelting down. I never really went on to a summer camp. I went on one, and the whole summer camp, it poured anyway. So I got to enjoy the outdoors, seeing it, and to this day, I still like the outdoors. The place I lived in before here, there was a nice walkway behind the place, and it was all kind of trees, and it was very sort of relaxing. There wasn't so many trees around this camp. It's sort of like a desert, so. But I mean, the medical is taken care of. Nowadays, everyone's probably got their glucometer. Back then, we were a little bit more primitive. Since I've gone through the whole changes of diabetes care and what's come up, this has got to be 45 years ago. So what it did do is give me a basis of my diabetes care. So I understood a lot more. Coming back, I was no expert. I'm still not an expert. But you know what? I feel like I've gained an awful lot of knowledge. And that's why I probably thought, later, when I had a falling out with my doctor, yes, I can handle it all. I couldn't. Just a heads up. But the camp itself, I had a good time looking back. Probably back then I was going, I don't like to. I want to be home. But look into summer camps. I know it's a little late for this year, but your son or your daughter for next year, they'll have a hell of a good time. I'll talk later. Have a great day.